Today we are going to be analysing Trump Media stock. Is there any sound financial backing to this stock, or is it just a meme stock? In this video we're going to be taking a look at the financials surrounding Trump Media, seeing where their debt is taking them and how the future might look for this stock. And of course past and future things that may affect the hike or tanking of this stock. Starting with some current news, Trump Media has plummeted 22% within the last 2 days. This heavily cutting into Donald Trump's personal finances. As you can see, we can see massive volatility in this stock within the last week. With Donald Trump himself owning a 57% stake within this company, this has massively affected his own personal finances, with him losing $1.3 billion within a day. However, despite this massive decrease from Tuesday to Wednesday, it is still very important to notice that the stock is still up 4.76% within the past 5 days. Trump Media has posted losses of more than $340 million on revenues of less than $2 million in the first half of the fiscal year. Nevertheless, the company boasts an $8 billion market capitalization. Analysts say that many of its retail investors are only Trump fans who are only buying the stock to support the nominee. With Trump Media only going public in late March after completing a merger with Digital World Acquisition Corp., a special purpose acquisition company. The newly combined business surged in its Nasdaq debut. However, since then it has swung rapidly up and down in the subsequent months, with one of the key spikes being in mid-July after Trump narrowly survived an assassination attempt whilst campaigning at a rally in Pennsylvania. Furthermore, the stock fell in late September when Harris was set to replace Joe Biden, this effectively resetting the race and erasing Trump's apparent lead. So essentially what we can see from this is anything political will affect this stock. It seems to be as if people are leveraging this stock to support Donald Trump in his campaign.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here.
When taking a quick look at Trump Media's finances, I'm able to conduct a quick liquidity equation to see how much cash they have on hand to pay off every dollar of debt they have. Doing so has allowed me to spot a very weird situation with Trump Media's finances. In the final quarter of 2023, they had a liquidity rate of 0.04, meaning that for every dollar of debt they owed, they had 4 cents to pay this back. And with Q1 of this year being a 4.63 ratio and Q2 of this year being 426.21, this is a massive increase, and I believe this can only be down to the acquisition of their other media company. This just seems very unnatural and not sustainable for Trump Media, so I can't say that these are reliable figures to base any sort of analysis off, essentially. Moving on to a retention rate for Trump Media. This is essentially where we can see how much money is kept within the company with dividing the net income divided by the total revenue, then converting it into a percentage. Of course, Trump Media being a relatively new company is not bringing in much revenue at the moment. This is due to just lack of... for a media company to bring in money, the only true way they can bring in this money is by such things like advertisements and sponsorships. And with Donald Trump being such a, quotation mark, controversial figure, a lot of these so-called sponsorships and advertisement companies often don't want to deal with this sort of platform, as there is better alternatives such as YouTube or even X, even though, however, this is now losing a lot of its advertising partners. Essentially, breaking down the figures, every single one of these is highly negative, with Q1 being a minus 42,545%, Q2 being minus 1,957, and the TTM being minus 1,408. This meaning that after all of their deductions, they are in a shit ton of debt. Essentially, there is no other way of putting this. They are not in profit in the slightest. However, it does seem to be improving, but it's an improvement of bad is not good. And looking at the free cash flow, it only gets worse. This is highly negative. There is potential that it could be improving. However, this is just not good at all. You want this to be positive and rising quarter on quarter, as this money will be used for buying back stocks, paying out dividends, and more importantly, paying your debt off, which Trump media has an awful lot of. So their financials are by no means stable. However, it is important to note that this company has only just become public earlier this year, but it's not a stable financial situation for them. And of course, with this having no financial backing and essentially being a meme stock, it is important to note that with the election coming up on the 5th of November, whoever wins this election will heavily influence what happens to this stock. With some analysts predicting if Kamala Harris gets in office, then this stock could go to zero, essentially causing complete liquidation and bankrupting Trump media. Taking a look at this article from the BBC, they reckon Kamala Harris has a 48% chance of getting into office, with Trump having a 47%. Al Jazeera predicting that Donald Trump has a 46.7% chance and Harris has a 48.1% chance. And finally, on the US election 2024 page, it is a 270-point chance for Kamala Harris and a 268-point chance. So essentially this could go either way. However, analysts are favouring a Democrat Party win. So essentially, with all of this information, where do you think this stock is going to go? It's not looking too positive, both financially for the long term and short term, with these polling results proving, well, it's not proving, but favouring Kamala Harris. What do you think will happen to this stock next? Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more of this content. And I will see you for the next one.